It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the UMO Head softball coach, Mandy Sansbury. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you got started in college coaching?
Well, after I graduated, I actually was able to get a graduate assistant job at the University of West Georgia. So I spent 2 years as a graduate assistant there, and then luckily the AD decided to hire me full time as the assistant. So I ended up completing 5 years total at the University of West Georgia, and then I got hired as a head coach at Glenville State College, and I spent 3 years there. And now I'm starting my 7th year at the University of Mount Olive as head coach.
Can you talk about, of course, your time at West Georgia?
West Georgia was a really great experience for me. Like I said, I went in as a graduate assistant, but I was the only assistant. So it was a good experience because I got to take on a lot of tasks. The head coach immediately gave me a lot of responsibility and trusted me to oversee a lot of things. So I was the main hitting coach and also the main pitching coach. And it provided me with a lot of confidence as a young coach for someone to trust me with so much. And I also was able to earn my first master's degree. So that was also a really great thing.
Can you talk about getting your first head coaching job at Granville State?
Glenville was a great stepping stone for me. It was a really small school and it was really close to home. So I had a really great support system there. My athletic director was extremely supportive and allowed me to bring my vision to the program. And she also gave me some administrative opportunities. We were able in my second season to have the winningest season in school history. So it was just a really great opportunity to get my feet wet in the head coaching world. And I still have lifelong friends from Glenville. So it was just a great opportunity to get started as a head coach and, make that jump into having that responsibility.
What was the transition like for you going from a school that was close to home to now going to Mount Olive College?
I think it was easy because of the fact that I had already been in Georgia and that was over 10 hours. And so I went back home and it was, of course, nice to have my family so close and my friends. But when I did transition, my former assistant and also one of my best friends came with me. So that was also an easier transition. I'm only about 6.5, 7 hours away. So I am closer than Georgia. So it did make it a little bit easier to have already had that experience and to have someone come with me that I was familiar with and have that support system.
Can you talk about, of course, what you have accomplished so far at UMO?
I don't know that I would say that I've accomplished anything. I hope that could say that I facilitated some of my team's accomplishments. I'm really most proud of our team GPA. We've had above a 3.0 every semester that I've been here. Our most recent 2 semesters, we've had above a 3.4. And our most recent success as far as softball, last season we broke the school win streak. It was previously 13, and we had a 17-game win streak last year. And there's quite a few offensive categories that we have broken, and I think that's exciting. But I think last year was a really big accomplishment for us. We had a really great year. We finished the season 17-5. And hopefully that's only a stepping stone for us. And, we use that momentum to go into this year.
Can you talk about, of course, you said that you broke the world record and stuff, the best record, and I was there at that game. Can you talk a little bit about leading up to that, knowing that you were coming close to that record?
I think I knew that we were coming close to it, but I hadn't really mentioned it to the girls. So I don't think they really knew. So I think that was good that, they were kind of unassuming and just they were playing. Because once we did break it and they knew we broke it, and the longer we went into the win streak, I think the more pressure we were putting on ourselves. So, we were playing really well. And at the point that we broke it and we were playing and we finally lost, honestly, it was kind of nice to get the pressure off our backs at that point in time and just be able to take a breath and just kind of reset. And, unfortunately, that's when our season ended. So I was kind of looking forward to just, being able to just take that breath and play again. But we were really, really playing well and really hot at that time. So luckily, like I said, the girls didn't really know that the win streak was close to being broken. So, but they were really excited with the accomplishment that they had. And like I said, I think that was a really exciting moment for us last year in our program.
Can you talk about, of course, coming with the season coming short and stuff, what motivated y'all this upcoming season?
I think all of us, even the girls that are freshmen this year, all of us got our seasons cut short last year. And there were so many things from last year that made us realize that you can't take one single moment for granted. You can't take a game for granted. You can't take a practice for granted. So many things got shut down. So many people have lost their lives. And so I think that's been our biggest motivation this year, is just not taking anything for granted. We've been practicing, and every day the energy level has been really great. And we've just, a lot of times we'll go through the motions, and that's last year when we lost games. That was our biggest downfall, is we didn't have the energy, we didn't have the intensity. And so far this year, I think every day when we go into practice or when we go into a scrimmage or whatever it is, they aren't taking softball and their ability to come out and play the game for granted.
Can you talk about, of course, your college career and how that has helped you to become the coach you are?
Yeah, so I actually played at 2 top 25 schools, and I spent 3 years at Ashland University and 1 year at West Virginia Wesleyan. And while I was there, I, had the opportunity to do a lot of different things. I played a lot of different positions. I was a corner infielder. I played outfield, and most of all, I caught. And I was blessed enough to get to win a regular season conference championship. I got to win a conference tournament title. I got to go to regionals for 3 years. I got to be all conference, all region, all conference tournament. And there was just a lot of different things that I think, helped me to see what things will work for me as a coach and that I enjoyed as a player, things that wouldn't work for me as a coach. And, I think as a player also, opponents and their coaches, I think you take things from everyone that you play against. And even now when I coach, I take things from other coaches that I like and things I dislike, and realize that, okay, that would work for me as a coach, or that's definitely not what I want to do or how I want to be. And so I think that, during my years at Ashland and Wesleyan, I learned things I really wanted to do, things I didn't want to do as a coach, and what I enjoyed as a player, what I didn't enjoy as a player. But I came from 2 successful programs, and so I can understand what it takes to be successful. And, I got to win conference tournament, win a regular season title, go to regionals, and that's something that I want my girls to experience.
Can you talk about, of course, coaching in the Conference Carolinas with teams like Barton College?
Yeah, so every day is a dogfight in Conference Carolinas, and obviously Barton's our rival, so um, every time we go out and play Barton, that's a big game for us, and we want to go out and beat them. But there's a lot of strong competitors in Conference Carolinas, and you can be the top team in the conference and play the team that's ranked last, and you can lose games if you don't come out every day and play. So I think it's just every day you have to bring your A game and be focused. And I think our conference has really gotten stronger since I've come in as a coach, and so it's exciting to see the recognition we're starting to get, and the level of competition. So I'm excited to see what the next couple of years will bring to our conference, and hopefully we continue to get the recognition in the region that it deserves.
Can you talk about, of course, what the recruitment process is like for prospective student athletes at UMO?
So we find our prospective players in numerous ways. Some we find through skills videos, some we find through just going and recruiting tournaments, some we find through working or hosting camps. Once we find a player that we believe fits into our program's needs athletically, academically, and also has a character that fits with our program, then we'll usually bring them on campus to interact with our coaching staff and our team, just to kind of see, make sure that they fit. And then we'll kind of go from there just to, make sure that our needs are met with the recruit and their needs are met with us and our program.
Can you talk about, do y'all do official visits and what that process is like?
We do, but we usually do more unofficial visits than we do official. It's just about how far the recruit is away from UMO. If we do an official visit, we try to get them on campus. Right now with the COVID restrictions, we can't have anyone stay in the dorms or anything with the girls. Usually that's a process we like to do. When we do have official visits, we like to try to get them to interact with the girls as much as possible, because that way the girls can help us that whether they're going to be a good addition to our team as far as character and chemistry. So that's one of the biggest things about when we have our official visits, is just getting them to stay with the girls. And usually we'll try to get them into the classroom with one of our athletes. Usually whatever major they're looking for, we'll try to get them into a class that pertains to that to sit in on. But mainly it's just spending as much time with the girls as they can within their 48 hours. And that's the biggest thing.
Of course, do they get to try on the Trojan green uniforms on the official visits?
Usually if they request to, I let them, but that's not something that I usually kind of bring up. I've had a couple that have requested to and take a picture, and I'm more than happy to let them. But we usually, that's not one of the first things that I think of to request for them to do. So that's something that more so I let the recruit ask me.
What advice would you give upcoming high school athletes looking to play college softball?
I would tell them that their first priority should be academics and their character. That's the first thing that college coaches are going to look for. We want someone with a strong work ethic and a positive attitude. I would also tell them to try to find a competitive travel ball team to play with, where they're surrounded by players that will push them, and they'll play strong competition. And I would also tell them to communicate early and often with the coaches of the programs that they're interested in, so that we can know who they are. We can try to get out and watch them as much as possible, and to try to get to camps of those programs, because if I can, see them at camp, it's going to be beneficial to me, especially the way we run our camp, because we do scrimmage in our camp. So they get live game-like situations. Because sometimes it's hard for us to get to travel ball games all the time, especially for some of the programs that are traveling all over the nation. So definitely, wherever they are looking, hopefully it's Mount Olive, but wherever they are looking to definitely get in front of the coaches as much as possible. And so it would be beneficial for them to get to camps.
What advice would you give upcoming coaches looking to get into college coaching?
I think the biggest advice I would give them is to be willing to explore multiple avenues to stay in the game. I think young coaches often don't get the job that they want right out of college, so they kind of give up their dream and go in another direction. But there's lots of ways you can start as a coach. You can be a GA, you can be a volunteer, you can work with a travel ball organization or at a softball facility or organizations like USA Softball or the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association. And like anything else, sometimes it just comes down to how bad you want it and a little bit of luck. But sometimes you just have to start in a position that isn't exactly what you want and just stick with it. Like, for example, my current assistant, she started in a travel ball organization and now she's in college coaching, and that was ultimately what she wanted to do. So I think it's just stick with it and stay with the game and, stay with your dreams if that's something that is a passion for you.
That's wonderful advice. Where can my listeners find, of course, you at on social media along with Mount Olive College softball program at?
So you can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook, and you can also find us on Instagram. UMO Softball is the handle for all of our social media, and my Twitter is Coach Mandy 13, and my Instagram is Mandy Sansbury, and Facebook as well.
Thank you again, Coach Mandy, for your interview, and best of luck in this upcoming season.
Thank you very much.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Mandy, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.